Stash, the next question is going to come to you. Them building more of a closed metaverse, we are seeing a lot of companies build their own without maybe the thought of interoperability in mind. Do you think that we're going to see some more cross functionality within, companies that are building with more blockchain in mind versus meta? Do you think there's going to be some interoperability there at all, or we just forget any hope of that?
I mean, I think centralized entities want to keep things centralized because it gives them control. And ultimately, that's what these companies want. They want control over whatever it is you're doing on their platform, whatever data you have, whatever, pretty much anything you're saying, anything you're uploading, all of that stuff they want control over. And if they start being interoperable with other places, other metaverses, other games, other experiences, they start to give up a little bit of that control. I think that this is a huge paradigm shift that we'll see happening over the next 10 to 30 years. Just like we're kind of seeing right now, the paradigm shift of finance, right? Where we were at a point where all we knew was centralized banking forever. There was never anything but centralized banking, right? And now we're at a point where we have an option. There's now two different options. You can go with the centralized guys, or you can go with decentralized finance, what we have right now with Bitcoin. I think we'll start to see the same thing with services like this, where you'll be able to you have an option. Like, it's not just going to be all about centralized platforms. You'll be able to actually go and choose these things. And I think decentralized, or getting as close as we can to decentralized platforms and ones that are interoperable, are definitely going to be the future. We cannot achieve a Ready Player One awesome metaverse without things being interoperable, and without companies letting go of some of that control over IP, over data, over all of these things to get to that point. And we will, because it's what people want. Because ultimately they'll have to get up, because it's what people want. And we see the shift happening all the time in social. When a new social platform comes up that gives people what they want, then the other platforms start to scramble to try and change what they were already doing to try and fit into that meta. Yeah. And we've seen that already with YouTube Shorts, right? And we've seen that with Instagram and stories, and trying to compete with TikTok. So that change is definitely going to come, but it's a long paradigm shift, because it's essentially like, well, what copyright laws and IPs and all these different, like, those all need to be worked out, and some of that stuff needs to be let go to have an interoperable world. But that, in my opinion, is the only true metaverse that is going to work. Otherwise, you just have a standalone game, man.
Yeah,
you just have a standalone game. And that's what we have a lot of right now.
100%, man. That is literally all that's being built. And that's why one of the reasons why I really like what Yuga's doing with the other side is with M Squared's technology, which is the underlying tech to what they're building there. They are literally building an open source protocol so that if you are building and you use these same protocols, you can take your in-game assets, you can take your wearables, you can take whatever you want in between these different metaverses. And so while I get we're a long way away from really having that Ready Player One fantasy metaverse, I know that there's some companies that are truly, that's what they're looking for and want to build. We're a ways away from that actually being reality. Anyway.